Hey, this is Scott, and today we're going to take a look at the new Zhiyun Crane 2. Thank you to Zhiyun Japan for loaning this to me to try out. I do only have it for a few days unfortunately, but I have been able to use it a good amount in those few days. I'll cover as much as I can in this video, but there is a lot to it, so if you want to skip ahead, check the video description for a timeline. This can hold up to 3.2 kilograms, which is one of the largest capacities in this category. It connects to and controls your camera, displays lots of useful information on an easy to read LCD screen, has a Manfrotto compatible quick release plate, and even features a follow focus wheel built into the handle. While future firmware updates may change this, at the moment the follow focus feature only works with Canon cameras. On Panasonic and Sony cameras, you can however get your initial focus with a half press of the button on the handle, just like you would with a half press of the shutter button. It has an 18-hour battery life, comes with its own mini tripod, and weighs about 1.25 kilograms. In the box you'll get the gimbal, including the quick release plate, the mini tripod, a USB cable, a battery charger, and a cute little case for the camera cables, which are also included. Some cool features that I didn't get to test myself are the ability to charge the batteries faster using two USB cables connected to the battery charger at the same time, the ability to charge your camera with a dummy battery connected to the handle, and a slew of things you can do when connected to the mobile app. The case itself is pretty nice, with a very protective semi-hard shell and a custom-shaped interior to fit everything included. There's really not a whole lot to say about the build quality of the actual gimbal. It's all metal and feels very rugged. I wouldn't worry about this lasting, and everything is very simple and easy to use. The thick, smooth metal handle is one of the few weak points, not providing a very comfortable or secure grip. I was also able to check out the dual handles though, which are pretty simple but very useful. The angle of the handles on either side can be adjusted, or they can be detached for transport. The handle can slide onto the crane from the bottom, but it is a bit tight. You can completely unscrew and open the latch for easier attachment, but it takes a bit more time. Unlike the smooth metal handle, the dual handles have a very nice rubber grip, adding to their value compared to the gimbal by itself. There are 1/4-20 screw threads on the end of each handle if you want to mount something like a monitor or a microphone. I'll play a quick clip here showing this being balanced, but it's exactly like every other gimbal in this design. Attach the plate and slide your camera on, finding balance so it doesn't fall backwards or forwards. Then, slide the arm through the motor in the back to balance your camera horizontally. Turn the lens up and slide the arm through the motor on the side so that it's balanced in this position as well. Finally, tip the gimbal sideways to see if it tends to rotate towards the front or the back, and then slide the arm through the bottom motor to counteract that until it stays stationary in this position as well. Don't forget to remove any lens caps, insert your batteries and SD cards, and connect the cable if you wish to control the camera from the handle. Once you're all set, long press the power button to turn the camera on. If you want to activate or deactivate the live view for your camera, press up on the dial. Pressing down on the dial will enter the menu, and you may need to select the brand of your camera depending on the current settings. To scroll through the menu, just turn the dial and press right to enter a submenu. Press right again to select an option, and press left to back out of that submenu. Pressing down again will also exit out of the menu completely. In the menu, you can also adjust the sensitivity of the follow focus, the strength of the motor depending on the weight of your camera, or choose some other calibration options. Pressing the mode button once will cycle back and forth between the pan follow and lock modes. Pressing twice will jump into the full follow mode, and then pressing once again will go back to cycling between the pan follow and lock modes. The power button will also start and stop recording if you're connected to your camera, and the joystick will of course move the camera in different directions depending on which mode you're in. To control your camera settings, just press the right and left side of the wheels to move between settings, and then turn the scroll wheel to adjust them. The wheel on the side is pretty self-explanatory in that you turn it to adjust focus. Again, this is currently only available for Canon cameras, but future updates may expand this compatibility. Right up front, I'll just come out and say that this seems to work awesomely. Again, I've had a limited time to test it out, so there could be of course issues that come up over time, but Out of the box and through all of my tests, walking backwards, running, trying to run backwards, extreme wind, inverted mode, and with and without the dual handles, it's worked pretty much flawlessly. The actual performance of the follow focus isn't too bad. In some situations I did find it to be a bit jumpy, but in others it did appear to work very smoothly. The wheel itself turns very smoothly and is a good size to grip, but I think it will be much more useful once its compatibility is expanded to more cameras. Canons generally don't have focus peaking, and the 5D Mark IV in particular doesn't have a flip-out screen, so using the wheel without an external monitor is not easy. Honestly, with Canon's dual pixel autofocus and face tracking, I found that to be much more useful, especially when following people. While I was testing this gimbal, you were not able to turn the power on while in inverted mode, which was a little bit frustrating, especially when you had a monitor attached, for example, because it was not all that easy, or it was actually impossible, to flip the gimbal over once you already had all those cables and everything attached. I did mention it to Zhiyun though, and since then they've actually released a firmware update which now allows you to do that, so it's no longer a problem. That firmware update also allows you to physically reposition the camera when you're using the lock mode, which is a lot faster and easier than having to use the joystick only. It's very well behaved, there's no jitter at all unless it's due to user error or bad technique, and I love that it just works out of the box with such a wide range of different cameras. So yes, I would absolutely recommend this gimbal. I think it will only get better with time and future firmware updates, but even as it is right now, it's a great deal. The range of cameras it can hold, the very smooth performance and handful of unique features make it an all-around awesome tool. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them down below. If you liked this video or found it helpful, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to see more in the future, and as always, thank you for watching.